Yo guys, what's going on? Just thought I'd put the hat back on for you. So welcome to the video, guys. In the interest of your guys' time, I'm going to try and get through everything as quick as I can. There is quite a bit to go through. We've got covenant changes, we've got legendary changes, and then we've got actual spec changes to assassination, which I'm very excited about. And yeah, I'm just going to chuck up some assassination b-roll up there for you guys to just, gameplay just to have in the background. I'll put some patch notes and things over the top of it, and we'll talk about those. I'm going to hit up covenants first, and then the legendary changes to each of the specs, and then kind of like tie everything together with assassination, and then my predictions at the end. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. If you do have any questions, make sure you put them in the comment section down below, or head to my live stream, twitch.tv/JustRuss. I'll put that somewhere on the screen. And yeah, do feel free to come hang out there, ask me any questions and things like that. I'm very excited about Assassination, as I said, so I'll talk about that and the Venthyr changes. People have been stirring. I've been digging through information. I got a lot of stuff to talk to you guys about. So let's get into it without any further ado, and let's start with the covenants. One quick thing before we get into covenants, guys, is that I thought I would just touch on the legendary overall changes, because some of them are relevant to multiple specs and some of them are relevant to just one spec, right? But the one that I want to highlight real quick is the Mark of the Master Assassin, which is 100% crit legendary that we're currently using for the Killing Spree build and Outlaw, and some of the builds, PvP and things like that. That one has now had a tooltip change where it will be only affecting the rogue's auto attacks and abilities, which means that it will no longer be insanely effective in dungeons like the Necrotic Wake, and also it won't interact with 100% crit on your trinkets and things. So Dreadfire Vessels, Skulker's Wings and things like that will be less effective with it because they won't be kind of cheesing with the extra crit, which will make it less valuable, I think. So it's worth resimming with your character and things like that. But it's going to be much less effective in things like the Necrotic Wake dungeon. So I'll quickly go over the Necrolord changes now, and then the Venthyr changes, before we start looking into Assassination and the new changes there with that spec, which I'm very excited about. So Necrolord is now having a few changes to the Serrated Bone Spike, which is their main offensive covenant ability. It will now deal 300% increased initial damage, which originally wasn't really, doing much damage at all. So now that is kind of relevant damage. And they've also added the ability for that to crit, or they've resolved an issue that was preventing it to crit. So now the initial impact of Bone Spike not only does damage, but it can also crit, which is great. That's even more damage. But the more important part of that, for things like Assassination Rogue, is that critting will now work with the ability they have called Seal Fate, which is a passive, which every time an ability crits, you'll gain an additional combo point. So there is now an extra blue post, which has said that, well, I guess I'll go over the second part first, or the third part, should I say. Bone Spike now grants an additional combo point, or it grants one combo point plus an additional combo point for every single Bone Spike that you currently have active out on your targets. So if you have one Bone Spike up, then it's going to give you 2 combo points for your second Bone Spike, and if you have 2 up, it's going to give you 3 combo points for your third Bone Spike, and so on. And that can also interact with the Seal Fate passive with Assassination, which is going to be kind of an overarching theme of this video, I guess. Giving you access to a lot of resources if you were to play Assassination Necrolord or Necrolord Assassination, giving you a lot of access to a lot of resources very, very quickly, which I hope you keep up your ruptures on multiple targets in AoE and things like that. Council fights, things like that will be very, very lucrative with this new change. And the last 2 things on this particular part of it, with the whole Bone Spike no longer refunding a charge and being removed when the target's healed to full, and about it being removed when the target leaves combat. Those are more PvP changes, so that your Bone Spikes cannot be like cleansed off your targets in PvP if you do run this when a healer tops your enemy, for example, and then you have to use your global cooldown putting it back out on them and things like that. So they'll just keep ticking, meaning that's less global cooldowns that you need to press refreshing your Bone Spikes when you could be doing other meaningful damage, So onto Venthyr now. They have redesigned Flagellation yet again. It now no longer costs energy, and its duration is reduced to 12 seconds from 20, so all of the damage is happening a much shorter period of time. but they've made up for that, increasing the damage substantially. So the initial damage of it is increased by 270%, and the additional damage from spending combo points inside the flagellation window has also been increased by 160%. So very, very bursty ability now. They have changed the initial kind of like hits used to flagellate, or like slash, what was it, flay the target 3 times when you first use the ability, giving you 3 stacks, I guess, and the stack's important with the amount of haste that you gain from the ability. There is also no reactivation of the ability anymore, where you used to stack it up and then you pulled it away from the target, and then you got a bunch of haste after the flagellation was over. Now you get the haste immediately, and it goes on throughout the effects of flagellation. So very, very bursty, especially with the new conduit, which they've doubled the value of from 2 extra lashes to 4, the lashing scars conduit. That one is going to now mean that you can get 5% haste for it. So it's the initial hit plus 4 lashes on the initial use of flagellation. So you'll immediately be granted with 5% haste. Obviously, that's really, really good because that's 5% haste on all of your targets around you. Meaning that, yeah, it's just a bunch of damage, a bunch of burst. Every combo point you spend is going to do increased amount of damage. So with all that haste, you can get out more finishes, which means you can do more damage, etc., etc. Very bursty ability, simming very, very well. Some people, I've heard rumors of it, they're kind of like preparing themselves for maybe it getting toned down a little bit. Wouldn't put it past Blizzard to change things at the last second, but hopefully they don't, because finally it's looking like Venthyr might be a pretty good pick, to be honest. I'm considering going that myself. But yeah, flagellation, honestly, simming really, really well for all 3 specs for Rogue right now. But I'm kind of looking forward to Venthyr Assassination Rogue, because I've always been thinking like scales very, very well, you know. So quickly brushing over the general legendary changes, we're going to be having, as I said at the beginning, the change to the Master Assassin kind of like wording and tooltip. Then we've just got a couple of different legendary changes for the various specs. A couple of like overarching ones, Tiny Toxic Blade, you know, a bit better. Bloodfang, haven't really heard much about. Doomblade is actually becoming pretty relevant for Assassination. Dustwalker's patch, I believe they're trying to make it, you know, a bit better. They've buffed it by like 66% there. They've changed a couple of the Outlaw ones to make them slightly less terrible. Some of the sims will show just the damage increase that they gain from there. I'll put them on the screen for you now in a second. And what I've heard overarching from the Rogue Discord. By the way, all of these screenshots that I'm going to show you from like Discord messages and sims, they're all coming from the Ravenholt Rogue Discord. So shout out to those guys for keeping everybody updated and in the loop with all these changes coming into patch 9.0.5. I'll leave a link down to that Discord in the description below the video if you're interested in joining there. I'm not like affiliated with them or anything, but they do give good information. And if you do want to like ask people questions who know way more than I do about Rogue, then Ravenholt Discord is probably your best bet. They're very helpful people. It's insanely active, and yeah, just jump in there, see for yourself, I guess. But yeah, in general, the takeaway from these legendary changes, overarching, is that nothing changes much, except you'll probably be running Doomblade for Assassination if you do go down the Assassination route. Big changes for Assassination, obviously, in this patch. Doomblade becoming really good for single target. And then all the rest, pretty like meh. Like the other legendaries stay the same. You'll still be using Finality and Subtlety, and you'll still be using Celerity inside of Outlaw. Well, it's finally time to rise, brothers. We have now a new kind of like new part of Slice and Dice, which is being changed around. It's like a new passive. Slice and Dice rank 2, which was the extra 10% energy regen while Slice and Dice was active, is for Assassination, is being now removed. They're kind of making up for that by buffing Venomous Wounds, which is every time that your bleeds tick on a poison target, you'll be gaining 7 energy. It's now gone up to 8 energy, so a little bit more passive energy gain. But they've nerfed like the energy gain through Slice and Dice, which is just the passive energy regen that you gain from that. I don't know how it equates, if that balances out or not. But just having less reliance on Slice and Dice. But the big one is that Envenom is now extending the duration of your slice and dice by up to 3 seconds per combo point spent. So on a 4-point Envenom, that is obviously you need to have slice and dice up because it's an extend. It's not giving you slice and dice, so you do need to press slice and dice one time. I don't know if this works out to an infinite slice and dice or not, but I guess technically it could, as long as you use a 4-point Envenom every 12 seconds, which sounds pretty reasonable to me. It should be infinite slice and dice, right? Because a 4-point will be 12-second increase and a 5-point will be a 15-second. You're probably going to be getting an Envenom off every, like, at least every 12 to 15 seconds, right? And you're only going to Envenom on 4 or 5 combo points anyway. So it should be infinite slice and dice once you get it up. So I'm assuming probably we're going to put in our opener, probably use like a 2-point combo, 2 combo point slice and dice or something, and I'm just going to be keeping on extending it and things. But we'll see when the sims come out and whatnot, what the optimal opener is going to be. I am very excited for this change. Basically, it solves the issues that everybody was having with Assassination coming into this expansion, with having way too many things to maintain. You've already got to keep your Envenom uptime up. You've got to keep your Slice and Dice up and your Rupture up. So this just frees up a lot more combo points that you would have to dump into Slice and Dice. You can now dump into Envenoms, which means that you can, you know, have more poisons uptime and things like that. And it's just going to be generally a good time. So Assassination simming really well now. Looking very promising, especially with Venthyr and Flagellation, because that will line up quite well with your Vendettas and things. At least every other Vendetta, but maybe even you might hold it for Vendetta. I'm not sure. We'll see, you know, over the next couple of weeks how that's going to go. But yeah, Assassination looking really good. I'm quite excited to try it out. I've been playing it a little bit, as you can see in the background, the past week or two. Just trying to get back into it. I haven't really played Rogue that much since Legion, but I haven't played Assassination at all since Legion. So kind of looking forward to that. And now I'll move on to the sims of all the different covenants and how they're looking. I guess we might as well start off with Assassination. It's looking like Venthyr is going to be what people are going to for raiding. And Necrolord being like potentially promising one for any time where there's like sustained cleave. So it could go okay when it comes to Necrolord and things like Mythic Plus, where you'll be getting bone spikes up on a lot of targets, and that's a lot of extra damage and potentially extra combo points. So it could scale quite well. I don't know how people are really going to find it until we just test it out in all the different dungeons and scenarios, right? So I'm kind of feeling between I kind of want to jump on the Assassination hype, and I'm kind of feeling between Necrolord and Venthyr here. I think Venthyr for raiding, Necrolord's a good all-rounder, especially with the change to the Fleshcraft ability. Now regarding legendaries with Assassination, Doomblade having that kind of 50% buff from 45% up to 45% up from 30 is putting it on top for single target. So Doomblade will probably be your kind of go-to single target one, and your Zoldyck, that's the execute one, will just be pretty much your all-rounder one. Good in M+, good for progression, especially things like Cyanothrius, where you're going to be, you know, the hard part of the fight is the end, so you want that execute. Generally, execute is very good for anything you're progressing, so high keys, when the bosses start getting harder on like Tyrannical and things, you need to like zerg them down towards the end, and they start taking a long time. Might be quite good there too. So yeah, Doomblade and Zoldyck are probably going to be your go-tos. Duskwalker not looking too bad. We'll see how that plans out. How that pans out with you know, lining up with Flagellations and whatnot. But it's all early days, but it's looking very, very promising for everything Assassination this patch, or this mini patch, should I say. So if you like Assassination, it's now your time. Having said all that about Assassination, it seems like people are probably going to be running that one for raids and things like that, because it's got like quite dominant single target, quite decent cleave. But it looks like people will probably still play Outlaw for M+. And if you do go with Outlaw for M+, people are thinking Necrolord, just because of how bone spikes work. It's just generally simming like amazingly well for anything which is even slightly more than one target for like any amount of time. So basically any of those two covenants, probably I'd say they're close enough for you to just pick what's your favorite. But it's looking like yeah, Outlaw is probably still going to be like in general stronger for M plus, just because of how the kit works. You get the extra gouges, you get the extra, you know, like the kidney shots. You're just drowning in combo points. You always have energy for utility and like also mobility, because you got the grappling hook and the sprints and the cooldowns on the grappling hook and the sprints because of your combo point spending. Just generally quite a lot more mobile than you would be on Assassination. You know, your sprint doesn't cool down from spending combo points. You've only got one shadow step on Assassination, so I'm reckoning that you're probably still going to be playing Outlaw in M+. So if that's your thing, then maybe Necrolord Outlaw is in your future. And I guess I'll just quickly touch on sub before we finish. It's looking pretty much everything the same for sub. Venthyr is also simming best for sub, even though it's, you know, a haste space ability, but it's a lot of combo point spending. Honestly, my opinion of sub right now is that it's kind of dead in the water for this patch. I just don't see a reason that you'd play outside of maybe PvP for the shadow dances and the control in PvP and things like that. But even then, I think Outlaw's gonna not Outlaw. Don't play Outlaw in PvP. Even Assassination is probably gonna be okay in PvP, but you will lose like the control that you do have with the shadow dances and things like that with subtlety. But that pretty much rounds it up for me. Hopefully I've put all the different little things up on the screen that I can think of. Pause the video again to check all those, and shout out again to the Ravenholt Rogue Discord. But yeah, if you enjoyed the video, let me know. This is my first kind of attempt at doing a news style my thoughts, predictions, whatnot video. So hats off to you guys if you stayed till the end. I really appreciate that. Obviously, if you liked it, give it a big old thumbs up, and if you didn't, poo poo, okay? And feel free to come, as I said at the start, come check out my Twitch channel. That's my live stream at twitch.tv/JustRuss. I'll put it up on the screen for you again. I just hit myself in the nose, my bad. But yeah, I will be live probably all day from when you see this video, if you're watching on the day or the next 2 days of it being uploaded. I've got a very long stream this weekend, potentially 24 plus hours, so I might be live even right now as you watch this. So do if you feel like it, come say hi. Even if you stay for 5 minutes, that'll be a big thumbs up, 2 thumbs up from me. Okay, so thank you again for watching. Good luck choosing what you're going to be doing in 9.0.5. I will see you in future videos. So if you did like this one, make sure you chuck me a subscribe. That's a subscribe down below. And yeah, I think I've said everything. I look forward to what you guys will pick. Let me know in the comment section below what you're going to do, if you're changing Covenant or what you're going to play, spec, Covenant, etc. Anyway, this has been the longest outro ever, so thank you guys for watching, and as always, have a great fucking day. I just swore. YouTube.